Imagine if, starting tomorrow, all sexual activity ceased across the human race. No more dates, hookup apps, or Netflix and chill evenings, just quiet. Although this scenario seems like a dystopian fiction, our current world is already evolving in certain ways. But this raises an unsettling question. If sexual activity completely stopped, pediatric hospitals would close their doors within a few years. Schools would become largely deserted. Valentine's Day, re-envisioned as great friend day still with chocolates, but without romance. Yet this is about more than just going extinct. It concerns our evolution. Could IVF facilities and lab-grown wombs become essential for humanity's survival? Or would we face a genetic endpoint as sperm reserves deplete and 8 billion individuals age and eventually die? In this episode of Imagine If, we are exploring a future where humanity's fundamental sexual urge vanishes and asking the core question: would we adapt or disappear from the earth? Absent sexual reproduction, population decrease would be both rapid and significant. Countries with greater average lifespans would sustain their populations for a longer duration, resulting in worldwide disparities. Within a single generation, society would fundamentally change. Educational institutions would become sparsely populated. Children's healthcare centers would shut down, and industries focused on families would fail. The economic focus would shift to meet the needs of an older populace. Housing markets would alter dramatically as houses designed for families became unnecessary. Population age distribution would become severely unbalanced, with the typical population pyramid shape reversing. Within an 80 to 100-year time frame, the last individuals born naturally would be gone if no alternatives were developed. Would humanity inevitably face extinction? Possibly not. Contemporary medicine has created assisted reproduction technologies that bypass the need for sexual intercourse. In vitro fertilization, 4F, could continue to create embryos in laboratory settings. Artificial insemination offers another possibility. Surrogate motherhood could facilitate embryo gestation. These technologies could, in theory, maintain human reproduction, but they come with notable limitations. They are costly, use many resources, and are not accessible everywhere globally. Current global capacity meets only a small portion of the potential need. Furthermore, these approaches still rely on human reproductive cells. If desire for procreation itself lessened alongside sexual behavior, donation of gametes might decrease, causing obstacles in artificial reproduction. A society without sex would undergo deep social changes. Numerous societal structures and cultural customs have developed around sexual relationships and the creation of families. Marriage would likely be radically redefined, or might cease to exist altogether. Dating customs, romantic literature, and a vast number of cultural expressions would change or vanish. Valentine's Day would be rebranded as Really Good Friend Day, still marked with chocolate, yet considerably less awkward for those not in relationships. Industries centered on romance would fail or transform completely. Fashion, entertainment, and marketing would lose strong driving forces. This upheaval could bring about novel types of human connection. Platonic bonds might rise in importance. Communities could reorganize based on shared interests rather than family units. New societal models could arise for children born via technology, perhaps including group child-rearing approaches. The mental health impact would be substantial. Sexual drive has been recognized as a core human instinct, alongside necessities like food, drink, and rest. Its total removal would signify an unprecedented alteration in human mental experience. For many people, sexual expression plays a significant role in personal identity, self-worth, and emotional health. Its absence might generate new mental health issues. Psychologists might identify a new disorder, Netflix and actually chill syndrome. Conversely, for individuals who identify as asexual, this societal change might foster greater social understanding. The redirection of sexual drives could potentially boost inventiveness. productivity, or spiritual growth, as suggested by various schools of philosophy. Lacking the pursuit of sexual relationships, humans might dedicate more energy to artistic endeavors, scientific progress, or reflective practices. From an evolutionary standpoint, the ramifications would be extensive. Sexual reproduction generates genetic variation by merging genetic material from two parents, allowing beneficial genetic changes to propagate and detrimental ones to be eliminated, process essential to our species' ability to adapt. If reproduction continued artificially but in smaller quantities, genetic diversity could diminish greatly, increasing susceptibility to illnesses and environmental changes. With sufficient progress in technology, genetic manipulation might become the next stage in human evolution. Without natural selection through mating choices, humanity might increasingly move towards guided evolution, deliberately choosing which genes are passed down. This could accelerate evolution in remarkable ways, potentially eliminating inherited diseases yet provoking profound ethical questions. A world devoid of sex would not necessarily signify the end of humanity, but it would change the very definition of what being human means. Throughout history, our species has displayed remarkable adaptability, surviving ice ages, widespread diseases, and numerous challenges by modifying behavior and creating new technologies. While universal sexual abstinence is still theoretical, examining its consequences helps illuminate the interconnections between biology, technology, psychology, and society. It highlights how profoundly sexual reproduction has influenced human life, from basic biology to intricate social systems. Future historians might reflect on our sex-preoccupied era in the same way we consider ancient cultures. They did what to reproduce? How archaic! As birth rates decrease and reproductive technologies improve, certain aspects of this thought experiment may gradually materialize. Instead of fearing such shifts, we could embrace the chance to intentionally reshape elements of human society, building systems that more effectively support human well-being. Regardless of what the future may bring, humanity goes beyond any single biological function. Our capacity for empathy, creativity, and connection will persist in defining us, whether or not sexual reproduction remains central to our existence. What if you hit like and subscribe? Let us know in the comments. What would you do in a world without sex?